To extract information from a non-interesting dataset is a real challenge, and in many situations in our real life, we have to tackle quantitative dataset. So the first key step is to present it in a compact form. A frequency distribution is a compact form of data in a table. Therefore, in this video, we will learn how to construct frequency distribution for quantitative data. Before proceeding further, subscribe my channel Toolkits and don't forget to press the bell icon to get such informative videos regularly. A frequency distribution is a compact form of data in a table that shows the categories of observations. These categories are called groups or classes, and the number of values falling in a particular category is called frequency of that class. This is what it looks like after simplification. The table gives the weekly earning of 100 employees of a large company. First column represents the classes that express the variable of weekly earnings. It can be observed given table contains 5 classes or 5 groups. The number listed in second column are called frequencies, which provide number of data values that belongs to different groups, and it is denoted by F. For instance, in first group, 15 are such employees whose weekly earning is between $801 to $1,000. The data presented in frequency distribution table are called grouped data, otherwise it is an ungrouped data. While constructing a frequency distribution table, we need to take 3 major decisions. Firstly, we need to decide the number of classes into which data are to be grouped. Basically, for quantitative data, a class is an interval that includes 2 numbers. The smaller values in all classes are called lower limit, and the larger values are called upper limit. Secondly, we focus on class width. That is actually the difference between 2 successive lower limits, as in given table. It can be seen that the class interval is 200. Thirdly, we have to decide the starting point. Usually it starts with smallest value in the dataset and then add the class interval to get lower class limit of second class. The upper class limit of first class will be the previous value of lower limit of second class, where we can determine the remaining class limits by adding class interval repeatedly. And finally, we distribute data into appropriate classes by making a frequency column. Now we will use these 3 key decisions to construct a frequency distribution table in one of the practical example, where number of classes can be determined by this formula, where n is the number of observations in our data with common logarithm which has base 10. For the sake of understanding, I will take 100 observations. The number of classes are 7.64, but in practice, we round it up to some convenient number. The number 7 or 8 is more convenient than 7.64. So for 100 observations, we can say that we can make either 7 or 8 classes, and it totally depends upon the situation. If the desired number of classes are known, the appropriate width can be determined by this expression. Again, we prefer the convenient value. As far as the starting point is concerned, normally we start with smallest observation in our dataset. Actually, our ultimate goal is to cover all observations in the data in desired number of classes with equal width. For this purpose, if we have to increase or reduce one of the class, we can do it. Now we move to some practical example. The first example is about the study that is conducted to check how people of a city spend their day. The study found that people spend on average 18 hours per week in chatting through different social apps. A sample of 25 people are given below, and definitely we summarize the data by making frequency distribution table. In solution section, the first thing we need to know that how many classes we can make by using the formula. So we can make either 5 or 6 classes. The second step is to find the class interval. The smallest value is 12 and the largest value is 26. And as we have two options for number of classes, if we make 5 classes, the class interval is 2.8, and for 6 classes it is 2.33. The next most convenient value in both the situations is 3. So only if all our data not covered within 5 classes with 3 class interval, we can then use 6 classes. The variable of weekly chatting of people in hours. And let's start with starting point with smallest observation in dataset, that is 12. Then add class interval to the smallest observation to get the lower limit of second class. The upper limit of first class is obviously the previous value of lower limit of second class. Once we construct the first class, we can add class intervals repeatedly to get lower and upper limits of all other classes. Here we have no need to make the 6th class because all observations cover within 5 classes. State clear class limits so you can put each observation into only one category. One thing is also noticeable here. It is not always possible that the larger value of data will be the upper limit of final class. After making classes, now we check the number of values in a particular class. As 3 values fall on or within first class, that tell us 3 people chat 12 to 14 hours in a week. Same method will be applied for other classes. Result shows majority of people spend 18 to 20 hours in chatting per week, and only one person chatted 24 to 26 hours in a week. Hope you learned a lot, and that's enough for today. Don't forget to subscribe my channel Toolkits. Stay tuned.